Into First Alert Weather Extra, Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. A cold, dreary Tuesday. As we talked about, we still actually have some very light precipitation that's moving through parts of our area, but for much of the southeast region. Our weather watchers checked in. We picked up about an inch of rain in a lot of areas. You can see still that stream of cloud covers with us, and a lot of times when we get in these setups here where we have this overrunning moisture, it takes a little while before these clouds do move out. So I think going into Wednesday, probably mostly cloudy there for a good portion of the day. But this is a look at what we're tracking right now on the radar. I want to take you in for a closer look here, though, as we bring in the radar around Birmingham, BMX, and you can see there around Shelby County and Jefferson County. What I had to do is dial the radar into a very sensitive mode where we could pick up that light mist. There's some little areas here with that northwest flow. You can still see some light mist showing up there on the radar. So there may be some wet roads out there, some slippery spots, so just take it slow. Be careful out there tonight. Still cold, kind of a damp evening across the state of Alabama. Current temperatures were well above freezing. It's just that wind, it just cuts through. The wind chill is going to be a factor. I think tonight by midnight, the feels-like temperature will be tumbling into the mid-30s across parts of the area. Our first alert weather headlines, well, looks like we're going to have several nights below freezing starting tomorrow night. And I want to point this out. If you haven't done so already, may need to cover those faucets, make sure everything is properly winterized. We're talking lows 25 to 30 degrees during the overnight hours starting tomorrow night. Several nights below freezing. Got to go back to last year to find that kind of cold there across the area. But the temperatures will stay below freezing at night. The good news is during the day, the temperatures will rise above freezing. But make sure the plants are indoors. Always say make sure our furry friends have a warm, cozy spot. Again, don't have to drip the faucets tonight, but next several nights you'll need to do so and make sure everybody has just a warm spot and everything's ready to go for these cold temperatures. Lows tonight, I went with mid-30s on average. Some of the data was showing maybe close to freezing far north. I still think with the clouds, the breeze, that's going to keep the actual air temperature just above freezing. Again, tomorrow during the day will rise into the 40s, but tomorrow night, 29. Friday, look at those lows. In this weekend, we actually have another surge of cold air that's on the way, and that's going to drop those temperatures down into the freezing range. So we're going to talk more about that weekend forecast. I've got the full 7-day coming up right here. Stay with us. You're watching WBRC First Alert Weather Extra.
Adopt an angel and help a child in need.
We're making it easy this holiday season for you to give back through the WBRC Fox 6 News Gifts for Kids Salvation Army Angel Tree program.
There are many ways you can adopt an angel now through December 5th.
In person at the outlet shops at Grand River or the River Chase Galleria.
Online at birminghamsalvationarmy.org.
At participating Chick-fil-A Stuff the Bus location.
Or the Walmart online registry.
For more information, visit WBRC.com and our WBRC News app.
Donate today.
The Birmingham Waterworks story is one we've been on for years and breaking some stories lately that are getting some results. Starting with the Waterworks Board deciding they may not raise your rates as much as they had first thought because of pushback from ratepayers based on our reporting. And then with the attention we brought to this, the Attorney General's office is stepping in, demanding hundreds of pages of documents before the utility does anything about raising your rates. We've been on your side on this story. We'll stay on your side. You stay with us on our WBRC News app.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your first alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
All right, welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Time for some weather photos. Kim Smith was out at the Wayne's office there on Concourse Parkway and captured this beautiful heron there out trying to catch some dinner. But I think soup is more appropriate on this evening with these colder temperatures out there. Lovely sky. That's sunset on Canoe Creek in Etowah County. That was shared actually on November 14th by Karen, and beautiful sky to start the day today. We actually had or yesterday morning we had that red sky early in the day. I think it kind of preceded, told us that, you know, they often say red sky in the morning, take warning, kind of preceded the rain that we dealt with today. But another lovely view that was from Etowah County, and there was a moon with some clouds over Pelham last week. Beautiful view there from Joe, Clara, and just thanks for sending those in. We love sharing those photos. Of course, last week one of the big stories was that wonderful eclipse that we had. We had a lot of good photos. Jenny Eads sharing this photo from Sneed, Alabama, and this was also a photo there from the 14th. But lots of weather pictures coming in, and we appreciate those. We like to share those here on First Alert Weather Extra. Let's get over to our 7-day forecast. I know today it was tough to capture some good weather photos. It was just cloudy, rainy, drizzly. How much rain? Our First Alert weather watchers, well, checking in. West Blockton, Tony Siegel over an inch of rain. Cordova, almost an inch of rain. 85/100ths of an inch. That's Jennifer McAfee, and also John King in Shelby County, close to an inch. And Pell City, you can see there well over a ½ inch of rain, but some nice rain totals there with that soaking rain that moved through. And by the way, if you want to be a weather watcher, you can sign up. Go to our website at WBRC.com, and you'll find a link to Weather Watchers. Of course, we appreciate any reports you share with us. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter. Just look for our weather pages, our weather team. If you have any weather reports you want to share with us, we like to pass those along. But over the next several days, well, the one thing is we dry out, but it gets really, really cold here. Look at the temperatures starting tomorrow night into Thursday morning. 29, 27, 28, 20s. It's like we've jumped right on into wintertime mode, and plan for the freezing, frosty conditions each morning here coming up. It's going to be very cold during the morning. What happens? We have a surge of cold air moving in. A lot of snow last night, states north of us, and that's also a factor in allowing some of that colder air to be transported in here. And with very cold north flow setup going through Thursday and Friday this weekend, there's another surge of cold air that moves in Friday night and Saturday. We'll see highs in the 40s, lows back in the 20s, so the temperatures take another tumble, kind of a reinforcing shot of cold, dry air. You can see Sunday into Monday lows around 26 degrees, and then into next week we start to warm up. And coming up here in the show, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Thanksgiving and what's on the way there. But as we look at the next 24 hours, again, maybe a little bit of patchy drizzle or mist still out there, especially across eastern areas, but all this wet weather's moving out. But notice how the clouds just continue to stream in from the southwest. I think tomorrow that's going to be a factor. Models showing close to freezing these areas to the north. I think we stay above freezing for most locations tonight, but a chilly Wednesday on the way. A cold day, 40s there through late morning, and a mostly cloudy sky. I still think we'll get a little bit of sunshine there during the afternoon, but it's going to be chilly, 2, 3 o'clock temperatures. It's a struggle to get to 50 degrees there during the afternoon. Thursday morning, though, I mentioned tomorrow night into early Thursday, big drop. There we go with those freezing conditions early on. You can see there lots of 20s on the map. That's showing 23 around Aniana, Gadsden. A cold start. Same situation on Friday. We're starting with some low 20s out there early in the day, but temperatures really won't change much at night right on through the weekend. Again, as that dry weather looks to hang on for a lot of the events we have going on, making those big weekend plans. Perhaps you're traveling this weekend, getting an early start to the week of Thanksgiving. It looks like as far as departing from Birmingham, no stormy weather or rainy weather expected, and west central east, most of the state actually, in fact, look good. I think to the far south, maybe along the coast, could be a couple of showers there by early on Sunday, but there is a system that we've been watching to the south for this weekend. It looks like that is going to stay south of us. We just catch the cold air that comes in from the north, and again, Monday and Tuesday of next week looking dry. But coming up next, I will show you what's on the way as we look ahead towards the Thanksgiving holiday next week. I've got an early preview of that beyond the 7-day. Stay with us.
The holidays are fast approaching, and if you're like a lot of homeowners, you're starting to clean some common areas around your house to prepare for family and friends. Well, today I'm joined by BJ Worsen, the owner of West Shore Home, to find out how West Shore can completely refresh your bath space and do your entire project before Christmas, or your entire project is free. BJ.
That's right, Joe. If you need a new shower or bath, you're likely to spend hours cleaning it before family and friends arrive. So I'm going to do something special. If you need something new, give us a call and I'm going to take $1,500 off each bath remodel project. Plus, for a limited time, like you said, I'll promise to have it installed by Christmas or the entire project is free.
You're serious. Now, Christmas is coming up fast, but you're saying if a homeowner chooses to move forward with their project, they'll have their new shower and bath before everybody shows up for the holidays, or the whole project is free. That's amazing.
It really is. Most companies aren't even offering an installation date in the next 3 months, let alone promising to have it installed by the end of the year. And for anybody looking to get it done, now is truly the best time because we have some amazing financing options. We're doing 18 months with no payments and no interest. That means you won't have to make a payment until well into 2024 after your project is complete.
That's fantastic. Now, BJ, sometimes it's helpful to see one of these projects. Can we see one?
Sure, let's take a look. So this customer had an older fiberglass tub and shower combo. They wanted to take this out and replace it with something a little more new and more modern. This laser etched tile has become one of our most popular options because you get the look of real tile, but it's super easy to clean. And the best part is this customer was able to take advantage of that financing plan, so they don't have to worry about making any payments or paying any interest for 18 months after the installation date.
Love it, BJ. Thanks so much. Folks, call West Shore Home now to take advantage of this great offer. 18 months of no payments and no interest financing. Plus, for a limited time, they're taking $1,500 off every shower and bath project. And you heard BJ, get your shower installed before Christmas or the entire project is free. Do not delay. Call the shower and bath experts at West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. I want to bring in our friend meteorologist JP Dice this evening. JP joining us from the home office. And JP, first I got to ask, what's on the menu tonight?
I'm glad you asked that question. Tonight it was Elise cooked these chicken drumsticks on the grill, and we had air fryer potatoes and a salad. How about that?
Wow, I was expecting you to say we had a big warm, a big pot of gumbo tonight, or how about chili?
That's tempting.
Right?
I said earlier today, I think maybe Jillian or maybe Lyndon, I can't remember, said it was a good nap day because of the weather, and I said it's a good soup and grilled cheese day.
You got it. Hey, you can't go wrong. Grilled cheese, tomato soup. I think we need to set that.
Or chili.
Or chili. There you go. Hey, it's been that kind of day, JP. Great to have you with us here this evening. Just cold, dreary setup out there. Wanted to, as we always like to do, check in with JP and just talk about some of the big weather stories that we've been talking about across the region. And JP, being a Florida guy, I have to ask right away your thoughts on, going into November, the hurricane season. It seemed like one of the busiest November hurricane seasons that we've had in quite some time.
Yeah, that was a surprise with Nicole there that just kind of popped up and ended up doing some damage, certainly not to the level of Ian, but you never let your guard down. Hurricane season goes until November 30th for a reason, and this year lived up to that. Probably not looking at anything else for the remainder of the hurricane season. That was kind of the last hurrah. But yeah, you don't typically see that. I grew up in Florida, and November hurricanes, very, very uncommon.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, and it certainly seems like this has been one of those. It was a hurricane season will soon come to an end on November 30th, as you mentioned, and it did weigh heavily. We saw more of the activity in this latter part of the season and into that peak and the second half of the severe weather season. But I just want to get your general thoughts on long-range predictions in general. I mean, you know how I feel about it. Sometimes, a lot can change. There's so much uncertainty, but, we're getting into the time of the year with all this cold weather. We're going to start seeing these models popping up showing snow in the long range and those possibilities. What is your early warning to some of those forecasts, or at least some of those models when they start popping up? I know it's just a matter of time.
Oh yeah, and they do. They get a lot of likes, they get a lot of shares, and that's why really there are people that put those model runs out there. They'll pick a random run of the GFS or Euro that shows a chance of snow and put it out there, and it will get 10,000 shares and 10,000 likes, and as meteorologists, we'll put something out there that's grounded in reality, and we'll get 5 comments, and that's about it. It's one of those things, something that's more dramatic certainly gets a lot more attention, but really be a good consumer of that weather information. These forecast models, especially when you're talking about snowfall, you're really looking at something that's trying to predict where the equivalent of 1/10 of an inch of rain is going to fall and get the temperatures down within just a few degrees of freezing. That is a big challenge for even the best computer forecast models, and when you start carrying that out over a period of time, there's a big error in that. So yeah, you'll see a lot of that every year. It floats around. Everybody's putting that stuff out there, and it's getting shared. And back when I was at the TV station full time, we would sit around and we'd get emails from people. Hey, I saw this. Is this going to happen? And we'd sit there and kind of shake our head like, nah, probably not. So be careful with those. There's going to be a lot of bad information out there.
Yeah, you know, hurricane season, it seems like the long-range models always show a tropical system 2 or 3 weeks out. And in the wintertime, and especially with this cold air, it's just a matter of time. We're going to start seeing some long-range models that maybe show some possibilities. But, you know, it's like you said, you got to look at reality and what's actually possible, and certainly be a good weather consumer. But we're giving you that first alert to be aware. It's that time of the year, and we'll probably start seeing some snow rumors popping up in the future here with all these colder temperatures. But speaking of the cold weather, JP, just your thoughts on how you see the rest of this month playing out.
Well, at least the next couple of weeks here, I think the temperatures probably are going to be hovering a little bit below average. So we're going to be kind of stuck in this cool November pattern. And as we get toward maybe December or January, the temperatures may actually be a little bit above average. Doesn't mean it's going to be hot. We're not talking about a setup where you have 80+ degree temperatures, but it may be a little warmer than what the seasonal norms are as we get into December and January. And when you see something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're looking at events where you're not going to have some cold temperatures or where you wouldn't even have snow. It just means the overall, the average is going to be above the norm as we head into the winter months. But the next couple of weeks, I think it is going to be chilly around here. I was looking at some of the forecast models going into next week, and I know we talked a little bit about this. The Euro is indicating perhaps Thanksgiving Day, later in the day, we'll start to see some rain. And for the shoppers next Friday, there could be some lingering showers as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I noticed you were talking about the Euro. The GFS seems to want to bring that system, and we can stay right there with you, JP. I'll actually bring in, I had some of the data here I'll show, and let's see, I've got the temperatures first off. Looks like a nice warm up there into the 70s, so I know it's cold right now, but just the opposite. We start to warm up around Thanksgiving, but that's not too unusual, right?
No, not at all. And something that kind of got my attention this week, today we had that light rain. It started last night through this morning, kind of drizzly, overcast with the low that was down to the south, all that precip moving in. Did it not strike you for a little bit, if temperatures had been a little bit colder here, this would have been the prime setup to see snow?
It certainly would have. Last night, where that cold core was located back in Oklahoma, across Arkansas, our buddy Ryan Vaughn, I saw he was posting at Region 8 there in northern Arkansas with our sister station. You can see quite a bit of that snow falling, and that was actually, I believe, the second snow that they've dealt with. Saturday, they had quite a bit of snow that was happening there, JP, which is interesting. But yeah, you need that Gulf low, and obviously, we were in the colder part of that system, but here's the model, JP, you were talking about. I pulled in, this is what I showed on the news this evening, was this, there's the Euro model, and what you're looking at is the two different deterministic data sets, but the Euro model bringing in some of that wet weather, as JP noted, that's 2 o'clock Thursday, looks like Thursday into Friday of next week. The GFS kind of has this system in and out of here Wednesday night and into early on Thursday, so that's what we're seeing there as far as that system goes into next week.
Yeah, I think at the very least, the way the model data is suggesting, that on Thanksgiving, it may be a little tough for us right now to pin down the exact time, but on Thanksgiving, we are going to be looking at some rain across the area. Could it be in the morning? Could be more toward the afternoon. Typically, I tend to go with the Euro on these longer range. It doesn't always hold true, but I think Thursday, especially later in the day, I may be leaning a little bit in that direction. It doesn't look like a severe weather setup or anything like that, but it is going to be the potential there for some wet weather late next week. In the meantime, cold temperatures holding with some morning lows over the next couple of days here, mid to upper 20s.
That's right, and we're going to be talking more about those freezing temperatures coming up tonight on the news. JP, stay warm out there. Maybe put soup on the menu for tomorrow night. How about that?
Sounds like a plan. We'll talk to you later, Wes.
Okay, talk to you later on, JP. But again, looking at some of those model comparisons, let's give you one more outlook on that 7-day forecast. And of course, next week we'll be watching around Thanksgiving what's going to happen there with that next chance of rain. But the big story right now, these 20-degree lows, be ready. Saturday morning, 28, Sunday morning, 28 degrees, 26. Monday morning may actually end up being the coldest morning here coming up. We could see, I was looking at some data showed temperatures as low as 23, 24 degrees. You know, this is not unusual. It's certainly below average, kind of an early start. We're getting into this colder weather. Seems like everything's been happening a little bit sooner. Where you ever heard the term early fall, early winter? Seems like we're having an early winter. Remember last year we warmed up and stayed warm right on through Christmas time, and then New Year's Day the temperature fell. Not only that, we had snow on January 1st last year. So it was quite a transition, but for now looks like several days of cold weather and perhaps warming up quite a bit there towards the end of next week. And we'll have more on that long-range forecast, the 7-day tonight. Check in with us on the news at 9, 9:30, and 10 on WBRC Fox 6.